Hi, Stan with 3D PT again. And in a previous blog I wrote about going to the Lulzbot factory to tour them, and while I was there, of course if you go to the Lulzbot factory you have to buy something. So I got the dual extruder tool head. Right now I just have the standard single version. I've been wanting to do some printing with polyvinyl alcohol, PVA, so I could actually print support material that dissolves away and save me a lot of time on the cleanup. So of course they send you the lime green and black filament. This is probably ABS. Get this bad boy out. Check that out. So they changed it to some lime green gears, and on the back it has 2 codes that you need to have for the steps. So when you program it, you actually have to note what these are and program that into your Cura. Ooh, they even sent some nice covers. So it's got the 2 idler arms that go up and down, and yep, standard same idler arm. It looks like all they did is they just printed 2 of them, but they put them on a huge base here. So you've got the 2 extruder heads. Where are the fans in this? And the fans, it looks like it blows out through 2 different shoes here, as well as the micro fans. Let's see, what else did they do for this? So it's got 2 connectors, and so inside the box, let's see, you have to upgrade your firmware, so that's going to be something to do. Let's see the extra parts. So they have a Z-axis shoe that you have to put on there, as well as the extra arm. Now I'm not going to put this on, I'm just going to stick with my Spool of Thrones holder and use this to hold my spools on top. Let's see. And you're going to have to install the cabling as well, so it's just plug and play for that, so that's the nice thing. Yeah, and they gave you a guide too, but I haven't used one of these in a few years. I just don't like using guide tubes. It's just a pain in the hassle to thread that much filament through. Another nice thing about Lulzbot is that they post all their instructions online. So I'll post a link in the doobly-doo, but it actually walks you through every step here. And the main thing is just going to be the firmware. The hardware is going to be fairly easy, and so I'll let you look online. The one thing I noticed is that the bed clips are going to have to change. What it is these are probably going to be too high, and the nozzle and the shoe height for the fans here are so low to each other that if it came over here it might hit the bed clips. So, you know, that's one little thing, and it comes in the little bag here along with all the screws and everything else. Let's see, anything else kind of stands out? Spool holder. You're also going to have to zip tie the cables out of the way, and you just run them through the channel. Show you that. So all the cables go through here, and it's just a split open holder. So you have to run it through this second one here on the mount carriage holder. But after that, I might move one zip clip over so I can put my holder in place up here. You can see the two holders side by side. But yeah, you know, just a little bit of playing around. So the first thing it says is to basically position the Z carriage up so the printer will recognize it. So you turn it on, you move it, you home it first. And then you use the Z-axis, move Z-axis to at least 200. So it's going up about 212. It looks like they pretty much just want it up all the way to the top pretty much. And then you're supposed to slide the X carriage all the way over. I've only done like maybe 1 or 2 prints where it's gone up even close to this high. So that gives you an idea of how big the build volume is on a Lulzbot. So the next step is right here. This is a M10 cap screw. Yeah, this is an M5 cap bolt. And the extruder is going to hit that. And so you have to replace that with an 8mm M5 screw, which they provide here in the kit. So they give you a little clip here to hold this whole mount in, and I guess also it helps guide you on how to replace it. So I'm gonna do that real quick. So after you replace it from the cap nut to this round head, then you just pull out this clip and just keep it for later in case you need to change anything else. Another thing that has to be changed here is the corner bed, or the bed clips. So these are the factory original 3D printed ones, but again they have a high profile cap screw on them. So you get one of these little wedge shaped things, plus the screws, and you use a 1.5mm Allen key to change them out. Now, you have to use a 2mm wrench to get them out, but only a 1.5 to get them in. And it turns out these don't even need washers, they're countersunk into the tops of them. So these screws fit, these flatheads screws fit tight with a 1.5mm Allen key. So I'm going to do that with the rest of the bed, and then go on to the wiring. Okay, so now that's done. What I did a little different. What I did different is all the cables here were wired on the inside of the printer. And I was worried it was going to hit the Z axis, so I just wired it around the back and outside. It looks a little nicer, all the cables aren't there, but it still goes all the way over. And just behind it, and it'll drop down to the extruder from there. Now, something I forgot to mention at the beginning, you always want to unplug your power source. So I just unplugged the power source from the main box here, because getting electrocuted hurts. Okay, now's the main event. So you use your 2mm Allen key, and you just unscrew it from tool head here. Make sure you unplug the cables first. So after you do that, this is what I love about Lulzbot, is that you could change this out so easily. And always keep the screw right there, because that's the only one you have. The dual head doesn't have it, so I always just put it back as a force of habit. So before you install it, they give you a set of readings here, and so this is what you use to start setting up your print head with. And so it has an E0 setting and E1 setting. Write these down somewhere right there, and you'll use this later on when you calibrate your print head. Now here's the moment of truth. Alright, come on. This has to... Come on. Okay, so that was a little bit trickier. What it is on the carriage there's 4 screws that you could use to adjust the tension back and forth. And I just had to adjust those in order to loosen it up so it would fit and slide over a little bit to put it on. But once it goes in, next thing you do is connect them. Connect the electrical points, which I'll do next. So I made a mistake earlier. Right here, I zip tied the cable in before I connected it. And turns out over here as well, cable with its zip tie into the carriage won't connect to the head. So I have to cut the cable ties here, rehook them up, and then zip tie them back down. I'm even debating if I should do that or just zip tie them together in the back somehow. I missed that step here. So right here, where you're supposed to zip tie it, do that after you connect your cable to the head. Okay, so now I've gotten these all plugged in. Oops. And they're a little bit tricky to put all the pins together, but once you get them together, you'll see how it works and you can do it again. So now all the hardware is set up. Next is on to the firmware. Now for effect, when I do videos, use a Sharpie to put a mark on the small herringbone gear and the large main gear on both of the 2 gears. And that way in the future, if I want, I could actually time this, or it just shows you how quickly this is moving. So this is a video effect more than anything else, but it's something just to have fun with. The next part of this is installing the firmware. So if you go online, and I'll provide the link as well, it'll give you a link to the Cure profile to download all the controls for dual extruders. And so I'm gonna go through this, but I'll spare you all the frustration me cussing it out for installing it. So I just installed Cure 19.12, and I'm going to go through the steps next to calibrate it. So what you'll do is you'll print up 2 squares, and basically what you do when you do a 2-part print is that you have to print the 2 files. The files are loaded separately, and then you have to combine them. And the calibration part is what's going to probably be the hardest part of this, because you print 2 squares, you line them up with what your printer is set at, and go back and forth to calibrate them together. So the next thing it talks about is homing in the Z-axis. So it actually tells you to watch this really closely, and follow it all the way down. And it's about 5 millimeters off the build plate, but that's because on my old extruder I had longer nozzles. So I'm gonna spend some time homing in the Z-axis again, just like you do on any other print. And then once you do that, you can go into your other prints. I'm gonna get rid of that PLA that I got and print with that for my test pieces and go from there. So the next thing you do is level the whole head. So you actually home it on the bed just like you do with a single extruder. And then there's an adjustment screw here that uses your 4mm wrench, and you have to move this up and down to adjust the front extruder. So the next thing is to adjust the extruder E-steps. So you go to configuration, advanced settings, Vmax, E-steps minimum. I've got the E-step 1 value. It says adjust E-step 2 minimum value. I don't see an E2 step. So I think I have everything set up now, so it's going to print its first test print. So T0 is the back one, and it's just printing out a calibration cube. God, I hope this works. It's clicking, so it sounds like it might be. It sounds like it's running just a bit cold, so it's printing ABS right now. They do give you a test sample from Lulzbot. And what it is the back one is printing first. So this is T0. And it's going to switch to T1, which is black. And print the cube inside of that. And I've never actually printed with ABS before. I don't like the fact that it smells so much. Oh, the only downside is you can't see underneath. So already it looks like my front might be a little low, just the way it's bubbling. And I'm not sure it's supposed to be printing the calibration cube like that. So I might have to call tech support tomorrow. Wow. Interesting. I will have to get back to you.